Hola, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Jordan y welcome to another video here at Yo Spanish. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing and talking about everything that makes us different here at Yo Spanish. Different to anything that you've ever seen, encountered, or tried before. So without further ado, vamos pues. So here at Yo Spanish, we're not just another Spanish school, another Spanish course, Spanish app, or whatever. We're not just another one. We are different. And what makes us different? There's a bunch of things. But firstly, let's get into one of the first things that makes us different. So, we do not just give out lessons, okay? I do not believe in just, oh, I'll just try this tutor and have some lessons with this tutor, and maybe it didn't really work, I'll go to another tutor. That's not the name of the game. Here at Your Spanish, we have the flowchart method, which is a 3-step game plan that takes you from not knowing how to speak any Spanish from zero to conversational in 3 months or less. Okay, and it's a structured game plan. It's 3 step. You follow the process. Okay, once you've done this, then you go into this, then you go into this, then you go into this. It progressively gets harder as you go along. Because what you don't want to be doing is going to a tutor or whatever, and it'd be way too hard from the beginning, or just way too easy. You get bored. All right, so it's that in that sweet spot. So again, we give you a game plan, kind of like when you go to driving lessons. You want to learn how to drive. You don't know how to drive, so you select a driving instructor, and this driving instructor is the person that is going to take you from not knowing how to drive to being able to drive in 3 months and passing your test and gaining your license. Now, you're not just saying, oh, I'll just see how it goes with this driving instructor for a few lessons, and if not, I'll go to another one and then another one. No, this driving instructor is going to give you the game plan to take you from zero to your license in 3 months. And that's what you do. And you know, okay, you trust and you assume that he's not going to take you onto the freeway, the highway, the motorway within your very first lesson, and you don't even know how to start the car. No, he's going to show you how the car works, how to start the car, how to start the biting point with the clutch. He's going to show you how to do the maneuvering stuff. Maybe you're going to learn how to park first, or she will show you how to park first, parallel park, around the corner parking, or whatever. Little things like that, and then slowly you might go onto a side road, and then it progressively gets a bit more harder, a bit more detailed, a bit more advanced as you go along, and you build up. That is the same as what we do here at Yo Spanish, and other Spanish institutions just don't offer that. They just don't. Everything is too much too soon, or just unstructured. Just because you're learning Spanish doesn't mean that you're actually learning relevant things. It doesn't mean that you are actually advancing and getting better. Yeah, you're learning Spanish words, you're learning stuff that is Spanish. So you think that you are doing good, but really and truly, you're just spending more time to learn things that you don't actually really need to learn. So at the end of the day, it's not actually helping you, but it's actually hindering you. Another reason why Yo Spanish is different to anything that you've come across before in your Spanish learning journey is because we do not focus on grammar and technicalities from the get go, all right, from the beginning. Now, I've touched on this already previously, but we don't focus on that in the beginning. You shouldn't be touching any kind of grammar in the beginning. If you're a basic, beginner, almost even touching intermediate, you shouldn't be looking at grammar. That's an advanced level. Okay, there is so much for you to do before you get to that grammar level. All right, you shouldn't be trying to do a through the legs 360 slam dunk before you can even catch the ball, before you can even dribble it and pass. And those are the basic things of basketball, right? If you're serious about basketball, you want to get good. You're not gonna. No coach in the world will teach you how to slam dunk before they teach you the basics. And it's the same with Spanish. If you're serious about Spanish and you really want to get good, no, well, it happens, but we're not going to do that. But you shouldn't be looking at learning grammar and technicalities. They will come. It's important for sure to make sure that your Spanish gets to the level that you want it to get to, but that comes in the end. Yeah, you must learn to stand before you can fly. I do believe that's how the phrase goes. Okay, so here at Yo Spanish, we believe that you should be receiving the least amount as possible that will give you the most amount of results. Okay, and that's why I believe in, and that's what we believe in here at Your Spanish, giving the least amount of possible at any given time that gives the most amount of results. It's a sweet spot. Okay, we don't make the sessions and the course too hard, so that would just demotivate you, frustrate you, not really want you, make you think that you can't do it. Maybe might even make you feel like you want to give up. But then we don't want to make it too easy, because then you're gonna feel, oh, this is boring, this is kid stuff, this is baby stuff. Like, I'm not really learning anything, so yeah, I can do it way too easy. So it's that sweet spot. And like I said, I've just mentioned it. You don't want to, anything that you do, right? Within the first hour, you want to make sure that you are leaving the session or the class with things that you can use, with tools that you can use and take into the real world and actually implement them just after 1 hour of session. All right, and that's exactly what we do here at Your Spanish, especially with the flowchart method. The very, very, very first lesson that you ever do with me one to one or with one of our coaches one to one, and this is also in the flowchart method course, in the video course, is to be able to present yourself in Spanish, to be able to ask for directions, to be able to order something in Spanish, like really, really simple stuff that you should know, but it doesn't actually involve any grammar. It doesn't involve anything technical. It's just understanding basic fundamentals of Spanish and being able to express yourself. Okay, so it's not too much for you to remember. That's going to rack your brain because you have a life. You probably have, maybe you have kids, maybe you have a job. You got stuff to do. All right, so it's not like you're dedicating 100% of your time to Spanish. So we're not giving you too much where you have too much to remember and you get demotivated, but it's enough for you to be able to actually see the progress that you're making. Okay, so again, you should not be touching any grammar in the beginning. Eventually you will be, but we don't do that here. All right, we focus on conversation from the very get-go, and within the first few sessions you'll already be able to see the progress that you've made, and you'll be able to see that live in a conversation, because that's a true judgment of whether you are increasing with your Spanish and getting better, or whether you're plateauing or not at all. Okay, so again, no grammar from the beginning here at Your Spanish. We focus strictly on conversation from the very get-go until you're ready to tackle grammar and more technical, advanced tasks and topics and things like that in Spanish. Another reason why we are different here at Your Spanish is because we give you the fishing net rather than the fish. Okay, in the beginning, yeah, we'll give you the fish. We'll give you some phrases that you can remember that can get you started and get you up to speed as quickly as possible. Phrases that aren't too hard to remember, phrases that will leave you, that are very useful, that you can use straight away. Okay, but for the majority of the flowchart method, it's a fishing net, not a fish. And what do I mean by that? So we give you the tools so that you can take those same tools and construct your own sentences and really understand the fundamentals of language, not even Spanish, of language. We give you the tools to understand the fundamentals of language so you can understand English better, which therefore allows you to understand Spanish in a lot greater detail, and everything becomes more easier once you understand the English, if that makes sense. Because although we're native English speakers, you're like, oh, I understand English, I know English, but do you know when I am 50 years old, I will buy a house? Is this different type of have in Spanish to I am 50 years old and I have a house? It's different because one is the subjunctive, talking about the future, you have something that you don't have already that you're using the present tense to say it, and then one is something that you do have already and using the present tense to say it. But in Spanish, that's tengo and tenga, and you need to know the difference. So once you understand the English clearer, everything is a lot easier in Spanish, and we make you aware of that. So again, we give you the tools to understand the fundamentals of Spanish, and especially a great example that I can give you is, let's say an app or a course, school, whatever. Typically on average, they will just tell you what stuff means. All right, so ¿Quieres tomar un café? ¿Quieres tomar un café? Do you want to have a coffee? Do you want to take, literally, do you want to take a coffee? All right, you want to take a coffee, you want to have a coffee, whatever, go for a coffee. So yeah, they will tell you what that means, but we will, here at Your Spanish, we'll go into greater detail, and just that one simple phrase, ¿Quieres tomar un café? 4 words, 2 verbs, we will show you exactly why it's ¿Quieres tomar? And it's not ¿Quieres tomando? Or ¿Quieres tomado? Or it's ¿Quieres? And it's not quiere, etc. We'll show you the exact details on how that works. So then now you can take that one phrase and just change ¿Quieres? And change it to tomar, and now you can make a million phrases. You can make a million different phrases with change un café. Once you understand how different parts of a sentence work, the components and what makes up a sentence, whether it's verbs, naming words, actions, or describing words, connecting words, you understand how that all works together in one massive formula, and then now it's a lot easier to make your own sentences. So we give greater detail of what is actually happening in Spanish, rather than giving you translations of how to say this and how to say that, if that makes sense. So we give you the tools for you to be able to construct your own sentences rather than kind of following the lead of the tutor all the time. So you have more power to create your own sentences and express yourself, which is the game in Spanish, okay? To be at any given moment, be able to say what you want, whenever you want, however you want. Because ultimately, when we're in a conversation, we don't actually know what we're going to say. We don't know what the person's going to say to us. So when you're so confident to the point where you know, doesn't matter what they're going to say to me, doesn't matter what I want to say, I'm going to know how to say it. Even if I've never said it before, I understand how the components of a sentence work, how they all fit together in one big formula, and I can just make something up right on the spot like that. And that's what we do here at Yo Spanish. That's what makes us different. This could be one of the biggest things that a lot of different Spanish institutions do incorrectly, and it's lacking the lacking focus on practice. Now, you know, you might have heard it before. It's a bit cliche, but it's so true. And it's not even just with Spanish. You know, you want to get good at football, soccer, hockey, acting, modeling, whatever. Like, you've got to practice. You got to practice, okay? And a lot of people don't know that they should be practicing. They're on the apps, tapping the buttons, listening to the ding. Oh, great, doing great. But they think that that's practicing. Some people don't even know what practicing is. Some people don't even know what it is. They think that they're practicing like on the apps, but that's not actually practicing. Practicing is speaking with people live in person, face to face. If not, then on FaceTime. If not that, then on the phone. Okay? Everything else is not practice. Okay? You can listen to music, that's great. You can watch Netflix, that's great. Read the subtitles, read the lyrics, it's good stuff, podcasts and whatnot. Yeah, that's cool. It's all kind of like filling your brain with some Spanish stuff. But in terms of practicing what you've been learning, you need to be going backwards and forwards like tennis, listening and speaking live. No time to send a voice note and type, and you got no time. You're live in conversation. All right. So we focus a lot on practice, and we have a role play session that we do every single Wednesday where you can join live with one of our tutors, one of our coaches, and you can practice reading a script. It's like a script for a play, 2 people or 3 people, and you can read the different colors, and you take it in turns, and you go through, you know, one subject topic might be about subjunctive, one might be about introducing yourself. The topics vary, okay, and you're with other like-minded people who are also in the same space trying to learn Spanish and get conversational Spanish. So it's a judgment-free zone, and everybody's on the same goal. And you know, our Yo Spanish coach is a native Spanish speaker that also speaks fluent English. So it's a great place for you to learn, practice with Spanish every week. So you may decide to get the video course or take one-to-one sessions with me or one-to-one sessions with one of our coaches. And then you do need to go outside of that and still practice speaking, okay? So here at Yo Spanish, we focus a lot on practice, okay? It's a big part of Yo Spanish. And not just any kind of practice, but structured practice, okay? Structured practice. And that is what the role play session allows you to do, to have structured practice. You get corrected if you say something wrong, if you pronounce it wrong. Everything gets explained and translated as to why it's like that, etc. So you're also actually learning it as well. But again, structured practice is very important, and we do that very well here at Yo Spanish. This video could have been 100 minutes long, but that's a brief outline and, you know, detailing why we are different here at Yo Spanish and what makes us unique. So if you like the video, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Yo Spanish, and I'll see you on the next one. Después.